Welcome to the Racing Podcast. Welcome to Fueling the Dream. Today we will be having Yevan David. He's a Formula 4 driver. It will be an honor having him. So I'm very nervous to have him on this podcast. So bear with me, and yeah, I have sent him an email. He'll probably join soon, and I will be asking him about his journey. We'll do a fast round for Motorsports. And yeah, I'm still nervous. So hopefully y'all can hear me because yeah, my laptop that will not send him emails. He got the email.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yep, all good.
So welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much for joining. I'm gonna be asking some questions about your career and generally just motorsports. So firstly, can you
Perfect.
introduce yourselves to the
Yep, sure. Hey guys, I'm Yevan David. I'm a Formula 4 racing driver from Sri Lanka, currently with Santaloc Racing, racing in F4 Spain.
Okay, love that. So, my first question: what inspired you to pursue a career in racing and especially Formula 4?
Well, I started racing when I was about 6 years old. It was 2014. And I think when I drove a go-kart for the first time, I tried a lot of sports before, but I didn't really have the passion for it. And there was just something about racing that clicked for me, very deeply. So I started racing properly in 2014, 2015, and that's what I've been doing since.
So, the next thing, I want to share some positivity. What's your a highlight of your career?
I would say one of the biggest highlights was when I won the race in Sri Lanka, my only race in Sri Lanka actually, X30 Asia Cup in 2018. That was a very memorable race because, it wasn't my first win or anything, but the fact that I won it in Sri Lanka, where my home was, and it was an international race, felt very good. So I'd say that was the most memorable.
Yeah, because winning a home race, it probably means so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So a lot of boys and girls who want to become a racer. What's your advice to them?
I'd say you just have to have relentless passion. Obviously, you have to have a decent amount of talent, but that doesn't necessarily mean if you don't have talent, you can't excel, because hard work is always going to beat talent. So that's the one line I would say to them. You have to keep working hard and beat the guys who aren't working hard, who have the talent.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not a racer. I want to be a reporter, so it's like the same as the racing. And
yeah, of course.
Encourage them to start. The next thing I want to ask, what are some of your biggest challenges you have faced in your whole racing career?
There's been a lot of challenges I've faced on track and off track. Obviously, on a race weekend, you face multiple different challenges, and I've been racing on many weekends. But one of the biggest challenges was when COVID hit in 2021. I opted to move to Italy part-time to race for that year, because there was no racing happening in Asia in 2020. So when I moved in 2021 January, and there was obviously a lot of flying restrictions because of COVID, I didn't see my family for 10 months because I was away racing. And not seeing your family for 10 months, living with a coach at 13 years old, was very difficult. But I sacrificed it for racing in return. So for me, it was worth it.
Yeah, definitely. I get you. At a young age, being on yourself. It's I'm still 16, and next month I'm going to a race to interview some drivers, and I'm going alone, and very scared. It helps your career. So
you'll feel the same feeling.
Definitely. How do you prepare yourself mentally and physically for the races?
So I do have a couple pre-race rituals. I usually warm up with my body, a bit of skipping, juggling, some exercises with resistance bands, and then when I get into the cockpit, into the car, I just let my body relax, let my mind relax, just breathe for about a minute, let all the thoughts out, and then drive. So that's my ritual before every session, whether it's the last round of the season or just some test day in the middle of nowhere. So that's always my ritual.
Definitely. Needs very, very much preparing. So like, for like a racing fan, they're very curious. Like, can you walk us through like your typical race day for you?
Sorry, could you say that again? It cut out a bit.
Can you walk us like through your race day, like your typical race day? What are you doing in the morning, evening?
So usually it depends obviously on the day, but let's say on a race day you usually have quali in the morning around 9 a.m. and then you have maybe one or two races around midday and the afternoon. So in the morning what I like to do is I'll probably wake up pretty early around 6:30 and go to the gym, just warm up a little bit. Not so much physical, but just, to mentally wake up. Then I head to the track, have some breakfast in the hotel first, obviously. Just get prepared for the session, go for qualifying, and then in between sessions I'm obviously just relaxing, keeping my mind focused, but also trying to improve from session to session, looking through the data and stuff. And then at the end of the day, after the last race, I come home or to the hotel, have dinner, and go straight to bed because I need the rest.
Yeah, definitely for racing, you definitely need a race. So,
Absolutely.
next thing, yeah. So, how do you handle like the pressure during intense moments on the track while you race?
I mean, handling pressure is not easy for anyone, but this is something I've tried to improve over the last couple of years. I've done some meditation exercises and stuff like that to be able to focus on a race weekend without thinking about pressure from especially myself or anyone. So that really helps me to block out what everyone thinks.
Definitely, I have done that because at my first interview, I was very nervous, and that very helps. Like,
Of course.
yeah, definitely. For next, what are your goals for the future in the racing world?
Definitely, my biggest goal is to get to Formula One, but not only get there, to excel in Formula One. I don't have any specific goals, obviously that one, but I'd say the biggest goal for myself is fulfilling my full potential, pushing myself to the maximum, because I'd rather do my best and fail than not try at all. So that would be my biggest goal, going all the way.
Of course. So I have asked some people that watch you another question how did you know that this is what you what you got to do, yeah, in life?
I think I started when I was so young that it became a part of my life, and back then and even now I know that I'm still quite young, but I know it's what I want to do for the rest of my life, and it's just because I have the love and the passion for the sport that I think if I were to walk away, I wouldn't enjoy life as much because, well, I wouldn't have much life without racing. So I think because it's a part of my life now, that's how I know I want to be in this world forever.
Definitely. So next is the technical parts, how do you analyze and strategize for different types of circuits in racing conditions?
So obviously you have to prepare yourself for different conditions, different tracks. On the technical side, mainly the engineers set up the car and stuff for the certain tracks. But during sessions, the drivers also give feedback, and they work on the car as well to see if they want more oversteer, more understeer. So you keep working during a weekend to try and extract the maximum out of the car, and that's basically how we work with the car during weekends.
Definitely. Can you share a hard race that you have raced and how you navigated through the whole race?
Sure. Hard race would have been, there was this one race in 2023, actually not that long ago. It was the DKM race in Genk. in Belgium. I started 27th in the final because in the race before, where you finish is where you start, and my engine died on the first lap of that race. So I had to start last in 27th, but I had brand new tyres. So I knew I had the potential to go to the top. I didn't have a good start. I dropped back to 30th actually, almost last. But then I just put my head down and navigated through everyone. I was so focused on getting to the front that I finished on the podium after that from 27th. So that was a very hard race, but I was in the zone, I guess.
Good job. Like definitely, like you need to be like patient and go through it if you
Yeah.
want to be like successful in your field. Like, next thing I want to ask, like, what kind of support system do you have like behind the scenes, such as coaches, engineers, and sponsors, and how do they like contribute to your success and help you?
So I have a couple sponsors, Merck Stop and Alcom. They're helping very much, obviously financially. And my coaches, I have a different coach every race. I mean, not every race, but if my main coach can't be there, another coach is there for me because I have a manager who manages all of that too. So there's a lot of different people involved who help me, and for sure a lot of other drivers behind the scenes, because as much as you're on your own on this journey, you have to let other people help you because you're a team almost, right? I mean, you're excelling at yourself, but you also need help from other people, and you shouldn't neglect that. So I have a coach, a manager, and yeah, a few other people behind the scenes.
Well, shout out to them. They probably help so much. Like next thing,
Yeah.
like you probably have some friends that you have made. Like share some with us because a lot of racing fans love the friendship of drivers.
Sure. Shout out to Akshay Bora, to Mateus Ferreira, Jack Beaton, Kabir Anurag. They're one of my biggest friends in racing. Yeah, I mean, I've known them for a long time now, so yeah, there's many more, Nikhil Bora as well. But I have a lot of friends in racing because I've been racing with these guys not only for a year or two, but for years. I mean, we're talking like 8 or 9 years. So they're one of my closest friends, even if we are rivals on track.
Next thing, like, what is your like most challenging circuit that you've raced?
Ooh, I would say it is probably the Paul Ricard circuit, because I haven't raced there yet, but I have driven there, and it's very technical, very fast corners, quite bumpy as well. So that's probably one of the most toughest tracks I've been to.
And then next to that question, like following, what's your like most fun like circuit that you most?
I love Portimao. I would say it's one of my favorites. The elevation and the flow of the track, I love it. So yeah, Portimao.
I love that. It's very underrated.
Yeah.
Can you share like any memorable like experiences from race weekends that you have experienced?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of memories. One of the cool ones was in the FIA Motorsport Games in 2022. I had a bad race in the morning, and it was then going into the final race of the weekend, and it was the Olympics for motorsports, so I was representing Sri Lanka in karting, and I was feeling quite down before the final, but I was picking myself back up again, trying to focus on the race, and I got into this zone, and I was like, alright, let's do this. And it was pretty cool, because I mean, I just looked like some idiot at the back of the tent, like talking to himself, but it was pretty funny. And then I finished P2 that race and got a silver medal for Sri Lanka, so that was pretty cool. It's a funny memory, actually.
Yeah, bravo to you. Like, next thing, like for the all young racing drivers, I wanna like ask like, what do you believe are the most like important like qualities or skill that a driver needs to have?
There's a lot of skills and qualities that they need to have, but one of the most important is to have a good attitude and mindset, because that opens up to a lot of things. When you have a good attitude, you're going to have passion, you're going to have hard work, you're going to want to learn. But if you have one of those small attributes, you're not going to have the big one, which is a good attitude or a good mindset. So I'd say those two things are the most important thing a driver needs to have before anything else.
Definitely. So also for the young drivers, like that are seeking like sponsorships, how do you like approach sponsorship and branding of like opportunities, and what advice would you give to them about that?
Obviously, it's quite difficult to approach sponsors, but I think the best way is to work as hard as possible and impress on track. Let the track do the talking for you, or let the driving do the talking for you. Because once you impress people, you start to outreach more. That's a very good way of getting sponsors, rather than being a bit petty and just reaching out. Obviously, you can do that once you have impressed on track, but that's the main thing that you need to have first.
Okay, so I wanted to ask like small questions. What's your like dream car to drive?
What's my what? Sorry.
A dream car.
Oh, my dream car. It would probably be the Lamborghini Cyan. I would love to have that car, and it's definitely fast.
Definitely. Who is your like racing idol through your whole racing?
Definitely Lewis Hamilton, but as well Max Verstappen. Like both of them, I've been watching for a while now. Not only since 2021, but since obviously Lewis since 2012, and Max since 2016, 2015, and I've just loved both of them. Like both of their mindsets are just incredibly inspiring. So they're probably my idols.
Yeah, I love that. For the next question, it's more like calming. Like, what's your favorite like post-race meal to have?
Sorry, what you said? What is the best post-race meals I've had? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say I love racing in Italy. The tracks are great, so a nice pasta bolognese sounds very nice after a day of racing. So that's probably it.
Definitely. I'm going to Italy next year, and I can't wait to try that. What's your like best advice that you have received from your career through racing?
To believe in yourself. I think once you can work as hard as anyone. You can work even harder than anyone, but the best piece of advice is to believe in yourself and focus on yourself. Don't compare to others. Compare to yourself, because once you start focusing on yourself, everyone else disappears, and you enter this world where you're just excelling and no one's around you, and kind of like what Verstappen's in right now. So that's the main advice, to believe in yourself, which I heard from my dad.
Okay. Like, if you could race like against racing driver like dead or alive, who would it be, like a legend or something?
If I could race anyone,
Yeah.
I would probably race Ayrton Senna. I mean, I don't know who would win, but he's the racing legend. He's the number one man. So rest in peace. But if one day I could, I would love to race against him.
Yeah, he was amazing. He would have won probably more championships than all of them.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So like I want to get like into women in motorsports. Like, what are your like advice to them? Because it's very scary to get into the motorsport world as a woman or a journalist. Absolutely. Or something. Like, what's your like advice for them, because they're getting hate?
I would say to just focus on themselves. Obviously, there is a bit of speculation on social media and maybe a bit of hate towards them, but I'd just say focus on yourself. Don't worry about anything else, anyone else. Just keep doing what they're doing, and just keep fighting for your dreams. Don't worry about anyone else.
I love that. So you mentioned that you're from like Sri Lanka. So what's your like favorite meal from?
Definitely the classic rice and chicken curry. I have it almost twice a week here at home, but yeah, just classic rice and curry, Sri Lankan style.
Okay, so if you could race in any like circuit that you haven't raced in, like who would it be like?
Nürburgring. Let's say two. The Nürburgring Nordschleife, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to do one day, and definitely Monaco, I'm gonna do one day. Those two are top tier best tracks in the world for me. So yeah,
Yeah.
those two.
I'm manifesting that for you. We'll support
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next thing, like for people that would go to Sri Lanka, like any like places to visit, maybe.
Definitely the south coast of Sri Lanka. If you guys like beach weather and stuff, it's absolutely amazing there. And you can go surfing, you can go snorkeling, maybe see some turtles. It's really nice down there. So definitely would recommend going to the south coast.
Definitely. I mean, I have like seen like
Pictures and stuff.
photos.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very pretty. It's very
Yeah.
pretty. So I want to ask, like, this is like to wanted to like to ask. Wait, let me. If you could like again, who would advise? Because at like how do you say it like this? A lot of like fan. I mean, I guess people are really scared to like get into like the motorsports field, myself included, because of the like bullying and all of that stuff. Again, what's your advice? Because some people are very mean.
I would say, you obviously have to stand up to yourself, but if you really believe in something you want to do, like racing, just go for it. Obviously, it's very hard, but take a leap of faith. You never know what, and think what's the worst that could happen. And even if it is that bad, well, hey, at least you tried it. Even if it doesn't go well or some kids bully you, it is what it is. But you focus on yourself. Don't worry about anyone else, and do what you want to do.
Definitely, I love that because it's my dream to like interview, even in Formula 4. It's like
Absolutely.
yeah. I wanted to ask like, how do you like see Formula 4 like shaping your career in in the future?
Obviously, it's the starting block of the ladder to Formula One in terms of cars. It starts from karting, but it does help very much, to get used to the scene in cars, racing on big tracks. Talking to your engineers on and off the track. So I think it's going to prepare me well for the coming years ahead.
Definitely. So, I wanted to ask like this: how much do you think it is important like teamwork and communication with your mechanics and engineers?
It's very important because you need to communicate well and really understand each other in the team. Because when you understand each other and you're on the same page, you're connected, that's how you move forward as a team. And that's how you ultimately get quicker on track. So it's very important.
Definitely. What like adjustments do you make to your driving style when you're transitioning like between tracks, like between?
Obviously, it depends on the track, but usually you don't have to change much. Just adapt to the different characteristics of corners. Maybe like if you go to a Monaco where it's a bunch of short corners, you have to be more razor sharp and focused. Whereas you go to a big track like Monza, and you just have to be really on point with your braking because there's long straights into braking zones. So it's different, but you have the same mindset all the time.
Okay, so like how do you like analyze the data and the feedback from like practice sessions to like improve your performance on the race?
So you have data and onboard with you and your teammates, so you can go through that. Obviously, for a normal person outside of racing to read the data, it wouldn't make sense. But I've been looking at data for like 6 years now, so I know how to read it and how it works. So I analyze that after every single session, and that's how you know where you're missing out and what to improve on. So that, yeah.
Definitely. How do you wait? Can you share like any training methods like you use to improve your racing skills to everyone?
Dream what, sorry?
No, I said like I'm sorry.
Oh,
Can
good.
you share any like training methods that you
Ah,
use to improve your training skills?
so I run every day because obviously it's good physically, you improve your cardio, but it's very good mentally as well, to get used to that routine. And then I work out around 4 to 5 times a week to improve physically, to withstand the G forces and just prepare for the coming years.
Next thing, like I want to ask, like, how do you adapt your driving style when racing? Oh, I'm sorry, as well. Like, I wanted to ask, like, you're probably doing school the same as racing. How do
Yeah.
you manage that? Because I'm the same age as you, and if I did that, I will probably not manage. But okay.
Yeah, it's obviously difficult, but I've moved to online school so that in between races I can do it, and when I'm traveling too. And it's much easier because you could even do it in between sessions. Obviously, I don't to focus at the track, but online school is the solution pretty much if you want to be a racing driver.
Well, if any racing driver heard that, that's your advice. Can you share what role does your family and support system play in your like racing journey?
What role does who play? Sorry.
Your family,
Oh, my family.
your support system.
I mean, they play a huge role, you know, in terms of support and love. They're supporting me all the time, whether they're at the track or not. Um, they've been with me my whole career, so they're the number one people who have helped me on this journey. They play a huge role.
How do you manage like the media and the public and the attention like being a racer?
Um, Obviously, a racing driver wouldn't love the media, but you know they don't mind. For me, at least, I don't mind it too much. If it does get in the way a lot, I would, you know, step in front and say, "Hey guys, sorry, but I need to focus. I have other things to do." But for now, it's okay. I would be happy to answer people's questions and stuff like that. But if it does get out of line, I would step up and say something.
Yeah, I was on one of your lives, so it was definitely fun. Like
Yeah.
next thing I wanna, yeah. What do you do like outside of your racing career that you
um,
like
I
relax?
don't. In my off time, well, if we look at a day, I usually just drive on the sim. I love to play basketball with my brothers and just in general. I spend a lot of time with my family off track because I don't see them very often when I'm traveling. But I also love to play golf as well. So yeah, just a few things during the day. Obviously doing some schoolwork, but more of a chill physical life. Yeah, I do a lot of different things, I'd say.
So can you discuss like the role of sports like psychology, like the mental health of the drivers in like in your performance as a racing driver?
I mean, the mental state of a racing driver is pretty much everything. Obviously, you have to be incredibly fit and very strong to drive these cars, but mentally, you can't be affected by other people, by the pressure, by if the car isn't working. You just have to be ice cold and basically like a robot, you know, like a Kimi Raikkonen who just drives at the limit all the time, ice cold, the Iceman, that kind of mindset, you know. And as soon as your emotions get in the way, that kind of ruins your mindset a little bit.
Yeah. How can you share like wait, how do you like approach overtaking and defending positions during the races for everyone that's a racing fan?
It's very fun overtaking. I love to do it. Um, Obviously, I'd rather start on pole and just pull away, but if I were to start further down, I'd love to overtake. And you know, when you see a car in front and you know that there's an opportunity, you don't think about it. You just, as Danny Rick said, lick the stamp and send it. So
I
yeah,
agree with
not
that.
much about it. Yeah.
Right. Can you share like a memorable moment that you had with a racing driver, with a fellow racing driver?
um, there was one time that me and my teammate had a double podium finish in one of the races. Yeah, and that was pretty cool, you know, because we're going against a lot of other drivers on the grid, and to have both of us on the podium was pretty cool. So, and it was good for the team as well. So that's probably a cool racing memory with a friend. Yeah.
Yeah. So like you probably like what role does like nutrition and hydration play in your like performance as a racing driver?
Very important. We're always driving in high temperatures. I think I have a race this year, which is in Spain in the middle of July. So, you have to be super hydrated. If you lose like a bit of hydration, say, I think there was a stat that said like if you're 2% dehydrated, you lose 20% concentration. So it's really, really important to be hydrated because it fuels your performance.
And definitely. How do you like approach learning from like mistakes or setbacks in order to like improve?
I always like to keep an open mind. I don't like to say, yeah, I did that, or yeah, I'm doing that. Like I always try to learn from people when people tell me things or from what I see. So I always have an open mind. I'm always curious to learn, to keep improving, because that's it, in the end how you improve as a driver. You're never going to want to stop learning because, well, then you're ready to retire. So you're always learning. You just keep improving that way and always stay curious.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, like, how do you handle like the pressure of representing your team and sponsors on the track, off the track and on the track?
Like, there is obviously pressure from them, but I don't think about it too much because I don't need to, and if I do think about it, it's not going to help me at all. So I block most of it away from my mind and just focus on what I need to do.
Like this will be like a speed round, and I'll ask like toughest toughest racing the drivers that you have raced against. I'm glitching. I'm very sorry.
There's been a lot of quick drivers that I've raced against, but I don't think there's anyone in specific. I'd say the toughest are probably the ones that are just really, really quick because, it's just harder to beat them. So no one in specific, just the quickest driver, which I usually try to beat.
What's your like favorite corner of a track that you have raced?
I would probably say Portimao, turn 1 is a lovely corner. You're going downhill, quick brake, and you're just hustling the car around the corner, high speed, almost 180 in an F4. It's lovely. It's a lovely corner. So probably that one, turn 1 Portimao.
Has there been like a crazy like racing crash or incident that you have seen?
Well, I recently had a brake failure into a corner, so that's the driver's worst enemy. When you have a brake failure, you just go straight. Luckily, I didn't end up in the wall. I just ended up in the gravel and managed to stop it in time. But yeah, brake failures, they're the worst.
Yeah. If you like weren't a racing driver, what would you be?
I'd probably be an NBA player. I love basketball, so yeah, it would be a dream of mine to be an NBA player.
What's your like favorite like racing series outside of Formula 4?
I'd probably say IndyCar is something I love to watch. It's really cool all over America. So yeah, IndyCar.
I just got into IndyCar and it's very fun to watch. What's your like favorite racing movie that you have seen? Maybe?
Racing what? Sorry.
Racing movie.
Oh, Ford versus Ferrari. Great movie. Very recent as well, actually. But yeah, I just love that movie. Great story.
Like outside of like the racing, what country do you like to visit? Like, what's your dream country?
Probably I like the beach kind of vibe, so probably the Caribbean, maybe Jamaica or the Bahamas. That would be pretty nice for me.
They look very pretty. Like, and following that, Well, what is like a country that you have been in that's like very pretty and you encourage people to visit?
Definitely, probably um, Portugal or Australia. Both I've been to because and just because for racing, but I love both of them, so definitely would recommend Portugal and Australia.
They're actually like it's my dream to go there.
Yeah.
What's your like favorite type of car that you've raced with besides Formula 4?
Definitely the KZ kart in go karts. It's really, really quick, very physical. So I love to drive that kart. Yeah.
What's your like? Do you have like a memorable like victory celebration that you have had?
Uh, I don't actually celebrate that crazily when I win a race or anything, but just the classic punching the air like that is probably quite memorable for me. Just classic, yeah.
What's your like funniest moment that you have experienced in the paddock?
In the paddock, definitely when me and my friends were playing football and we destroyed one of the vans in the car park by accident, and it wasn't me, but we luckily ran away and didn't get into trouble. But that was quite funny after. I don't think it would have been as funny if we got caught.
What's like most like underrated aspect of being a racing driver?
The most what aspect? Sorry.
Most underrated. That's
Oh, underrated aspect of being a driver. I think it's the fact that you just get to, live a different life to everyone else. It's not normal. So just living that kind of different life is pretty cool. And yeah, it's the racing life.
well, what has been like your favorite livery to race with? Or
I love my livery right now in the Santa Lock racing team. But there was one livery in go-karting where it was fully green. It was a JC kart. I loved it because green is my color. So yeah.
like green on a car looks really.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
And what's like most like most inspiring moment that you have experienced in motorsports?
Lewis Hamilton winning his 7th world championship. That was just, yeah. And like you said, to all the kids out there, you can do it too. So yeah, that was the most inspiring. It's just amazing. Yeah.
So that was the questions. So if you can, we can do that if you want. I'm not. Wait.
Oh, sorry. Did you say we're done with the questions?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
I probably have to actually get going now, but if you want, I can do the TikTok thing by myself, and sure, it would probably go viral.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah,
can
sure.
You just do like a, can I just take a picture and a screenshot?
Oh, of course, yeah. Go ahead.
Let me just do a. Yeah. Okay, thank you so much for.
Alright, perfect. Thank you very much. Let me know when it's posted, please.
Of course, I'm gonna send the link.
Alright, thank you so much.
Have a nice
day. See you. You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. So people, that was it. Wait, it's very dark here. I don't know. Wait, let me put on the flashlight for the ultra. Yeah. That was it, people. I don't know why I was so nervous. He was very fun to talk to, and he's very sweet. So yes, y'all should follow him on his racing journey. So do that. Do that, people. Thank you so much for watching all of my episodes so far. I mean, yeah, I have been flopping a bit, but I just gotta be like patient if I want to become like a sports reporter in the future. I'm currently in high school. That everyone doesn't know. I'm 16. I'm Anya. To the new people watching, I'm Anya. I'm 16. I'm from Macedonia. My dream is to become a sports reporter, as you have heard in my interview with Yevan. I'm probably gonna butcher that. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy this. It was very fun to talk to him. If you want to support me, my Instagram is feeling the dream underscore and pitstop girly. On TikTok, I'm F1 Vitaya. I will probably share them in the bio. And if you want to support this racing driver, I'm gonna put all of his socials um, in the bio down below. I forgot English. I forgot how to talk to. So I hope you guys enjoy this. So everyone that's watching, if you're like in the night, like it's like 7 p.m. for me. Wait. Have a good night, everyone. Sleep if it's late for you. If it's in the morning that you're watching this, good morning. And if it's in the evening, I don't know what to say. Hello. So bye. Bye, my feeling dream fans. I'm gonna call you my fellow reporters, my fellow journalists. Bye, fellow journalists.